Deep space was silent, cold, endless. Humanity's main fleet floated near a dead star, engines quiet, weapons off, shields down. Everyone waited for one thing: peace. 4 months, the humans and the Valorian alliance had argued, talked, and negotiated. Many believed this meeting would finally end years of tension. The Valorians had promised peace. They had asked for trust. They had told the humans, "Let us meet without weapons. Let us show honesty." So humanity agreed. And now hundreds of human ships waited in the dark, watching the shimmering blue lights of the Valorian fleet approach. The alien ships looked beautiful, smooth, glowing, almost peaceful. Some crew members even felt hope. Inside one of the ships, Horizon 6, the crew talked quietly. "They really came," one officer whispered. "This could change everything," another said. "Maybe this time there will be no war." Captain Aaron Hale stood on the bridge, hands behind his back, eyes on the stars. He had fought in many battles. He had lost friends, family, and even parts of himself to this long, cold conflict. And now, maybe, it was finally ending. He exhaled slowly. "Prepare for peace transmission," he ordered. "Open the channel when Valorian command signals." "Aye, Captain." But the signal never came. The Valorian ships stopped at the perfect attack distance. Close enough to strike, far enough to avoid human counterfire. The bridge crew looked confused. "Captain, they aren't sending anything." "No peace signal detected." "They're repositioning," another officer said. "But, not for docking. It looks like." The officer never finished. Every Valorian ship suddenly rotated, turning their gun batteries toward the human fleet. The stars went silent. Then, boom. A single blast. Then 100 more. Then thousands. The entire Valorian fleet fired at once. There was no warning. No message. No negotiations. Only betrayal. Human ships burned instantly. Some vanished in bright explosions. Others cracked open like broken metal shells. Alarms screamed across Horizon 6. Flames and smoke filled the view screen, showing the last moments of captains who had come for peace, not war. "Captain, they're attacking all ships." They lied. "This is an ambush. Weapons offline. We're too close." Captain Aaron's heart crashed against his ribs. "Raise shields. All engines, maximum power. Break formation." But it was too late for almost everyone. The human fleet died in minutes. No survivors. No escape. No hope. Except for one ship. Horizon 6. Its engine sparked to life at the last second, dodging behind a burning cruiser that took the next blast in its place. Fire rolled across the stars. Human screams echoed across the comms, then vanished one by one as ships disappeared from the battlefield. Within 4 minutes, the human fleet of more than 100 ships was gone. Horizon 6 drifted into the shadows of a debris cloud, damaged but alive. Silence fell again. A dead, heavy silence. Inside the bridge, no one spoke at first. No one breathed. Everyone knew what they had just witnessed. A peace meeting had become a massacre. The Valorians had betrayed humanity completely. Finally, the communications officer looked up, face pale. "Captain, why? Why would they do this?" No one had an answer. Captain Aaron gripped the railing so hard his knuckles turned white. "There must be a reason," he said through clenched teeth. "No one attacks without purpose. Not even them." The debris field drifted past the windows, broken ships, twisted steel, silent bodies. Horizon 6 moved slowly through the remains, searching for any sign of survivors or information. "Captain, I'm detecting a faint signal." "What kind of signal?" "A data capsule. It was launched from a Valorian ship before it exploded." Aaron's eyes narrowed. "Bring it aboard." Minutes later, the crew gathered around the analysis table. The capsule opened with a soft hiss, revealing a cracked data drive covered in alien writing. The scientists connected it. A screen lit up. Lines of Valorian code flashed and scrambled. Most of it was damaged, burned from the ship's explosion. But one part kept repeating like a warning, or a message. "It's encrypted," the chief engineer said. "But, look at this." He zoomed in. In the middle of the alien script, there was a single blank space. A missing word. A word the Valorians removed on purpose. "What is that?" one officer asked. No one knew. "It appears the message had a key word," the engineer said slowly. "But the word is deleted, cleanly removed. Almost like they didn't want us to ever see it." The captain frowned. "So this message was meant for us?" "Yes, Captain." "And they erased one word from it?" "Yes." "What does the rest of the message say?" The engineer swallowed hard. It says, "Humans must not speak the underserved." The crew stared at the screen, at the empty space, at the missing word the Valorians feared so much. They betrayed humanity to stop it from being spoken. Captain Aaron looked at his crew, his voice calm but dark. "Find the meaning of the missing word." His eyes turned to the broken remains of the once great fleet. Humanity's future depends on it. The camera would fade out here, the stars quiet, Horizon 6 alone among the dead. The mystery begins. The bridge of Horizon 6 felt colder than before. The screens glowed softly in the dark, showing drifting debris, shattered metal, and the dying heat signatures of the human fleet. No one spoke. No one even moved. Every crew member felt the same deep fear, not only because of the attack but because of the message. Humans must not speak the underserved. The empty space on the screen seemed to stare back at them. The missing word felt like a wound. Captain Aaron finally broke the silence. "Start decoding the rest of the message," he ordered. "If the Valorians betrayed us to stop this word, then we must find out why." The engineer nodded and worked quickly. Sparks still flickered from broken panels, and the lights dimmed now and then due to the damage. Horizon 6 had survived the attack, but only barely. One officer whispered, "Captain, what if the word is dangerous? What if the Valorians attack to protect themselves?" Aaron shook his head. "They didn't offer peace to protect anyone. They wanted us defenseless. That means the word scares them. And anything that scares them may help us." That thought hung in the air. The engineer studied the data drive. "This code is written in both Valorian and something else. Something older. Older than Valorian tech?" "Yes, Captain." Another officer frowned. "What language is older than the Valorians?" The engineer swallowed. "Human." Everyone turned to him. "It's just fragments," the engineer explained. But the part holding the missing word was not alien. It was written in very old human symbols. A chill ran across the room. How can a Valorian message contain ancient human writing? Aaron muttered. No one had an answer. Before anyone could speak again, the ship suddenly shook. Boom, boom, boom. The lights flickered wildly. What was that? Impact detected. No enemy ships on radar. Another explosion hit the side of Horizon 6, harder this time. Panels burst. Sparks flew. 2 crew members fell to the floor. Shields are down. External hull damage, Section 4. Something is coming out of the debris. On screen, a large broken Valorian cruiser drifted slowly toward them, pushed by unseen force. It was dead, but something inside it was alive. Something moved. Something fast. Something small. Captain, the cruiser is launching probes. The screen zoomed in. Dark, needle-like Valorian drones flew toward Horizon 6. Their purpose was unknown, but their speed was terrifying. Battle stations. Aaron shouted. Weapons fired. Lasers cut through the darkness, destroying some of the drones. But a few reached the hull and began drilling into the ship. They're trying to board us. Stop them. Seal all corridors. The ship shook violently. Smoke filled the air. Within minutes, the drones forced open a small hole in the outer hull. They weren't carrying bombs. They weren't carrying weapons. They were carrying a device. A glowing, cube-shaped object. The moment the drones dropped it inside the ship, the cube activated, floating into the air, glowing brighter and brighter. It's broadcasting something. Captain, this is Valorian tech. No, sir, the signal is mixed. Half Valorian, half human again. Then the cube spoke. A deep, layered voice filled the bridge. A voice that sounded alien, and yet painfully human. The word must stay silent. The crew froze. The cube pulsed again. If the humans speak it, the galaxy will fall. Captain Aaron stepped forward slowly. What word? Why did you attack us? What are you afraid of? The cube responded instantly. We fear the return of what you once were. The room fell silent. The cube dimmed, then collapsed in on itself, turning to dust. Everyone looked at the captain, waiting for answers he did not have. Aaron's voice was low and steady. They fear us, not for what we are today, but for what humans once were. A quiet dread settled in the room. The engineer wiped sweat from his forehead. Captain, I decoded another part of the message. Everyone turned to him. It says the word is not a weapon. It is something else. Something inside humans. Something old. Aaron leaned closer. What does it do? The engineer hesitated. It activates something. Activates what? Aaron demanded. The engineer's voice cracked. It says, the word awakens the human core. No one spoke. No one breathed. What is the human core? An officer whispered. The engineer shook his head. No idea. The files are too damaged. But the Valorians fear it so much, they destroyed our entire fleet. The captain straightened, eyes cold and determined. Then we find out what the word means. We learn what the Valorians fear. He turned to the crew. We are the last surviving human warship. If we fail, humanity dies with us. The crew nodded. No one said they were afraid. But everyone was. On the screen, the empty space in the message blinked again. Humans must not speak the understanding. A missing word. A word that could save humanity. Or destroy the galaxy. Horizon 6 turned away from the battlefield and began moving toward the nearest human archive station. The only place old enough and secret enough to decode the ancient writing. The mystery deepened. The hunt for the word had begun. Horizon 6 drifted away from the battlefield, its engines shaking, lights flickering. Half the ship was damaged but still alive. Every crew member worked quietly, afraid to speak too loudly as if the stars themselves were listening. The message from the Valorians still played on the screen. Humans must not speak the understanding. That empty space felt heavier than any weapon. They didn't know the word. They didn't know its meaning. They didn't know why the Valorians were afraid of it. But now they knew the most important thing. The word was human. Ancient. Forgotten. Dangerous. Captain Aaron stood at the center of the bridge, staring at the stars. Set course for the old human archive station, he ordered. It might be our only chance. Aye, Captain, the helmsman replied. The ship turned slowly. Engines hummed. The stars stretched into long white lines as Horizon 6 jumped into faster-than-light travel. But the crew didn't rest. The fear was too fresh. The wounds too deep. The communications officer suddenly looked up. Captain, I'm getting a weak distress signal. Aaron frowned. Human. Yes, sir. Very faint. It's coming from inside the debris field we left behind. A survivor? Impossible. But no one dared to ignore even the smallest chance. Bring us out of FTL, Aaron ordered. Turn back. The crew looked worried but obeyed. Minutes later, Horizon 6 returned to the destroyed battlefield, a graveyard of floating metal and silent ships. The signal beeped softly. Trace it, the captain said. The scanners focused on a broken human battleship drifting slowly through space. Its hull was torn open, fire still glowing inside. Captain, the officer said, there is one life signature. Faint. Very weak. Aaron didn't wait. Prepare rescue team. Bring whoever it is aboard. The survivor. The rescue team boarded the ruined battleship, moving through smoke, sparks, and shattered corridors. Fallen soldiers floated in silence. There was no air. No light. No sound, except for the slow beeping of the distress beacon. Finally, inside the command chamber they found him. A man in a torn admiral's uniform, pinned under fallen metal, barely breathing. Admiral Wren? One rescuer gasped. He was commanding the Peace Fleet. They pulled him out carefully and rushed him back to Horizon 6. The Admiral speaks. Hours later, Admiral Wren lay in the medical bay, covered in bandages, breathing slowly through oxygen tubes. The crew stood around him, waiting, hoping. His eyes opened weakly. The first thing he said was not a greeting, not a question, not even a word of pain. He whispered, "They betrayed us, because of the word." Everyone froze. The captain stepped forward. "Admiral, do you know the word?" Wren coughed, struggling to speak. His voice was dry, shaking. "No, not fully. But I know what it means." He looked around, making sure no one else was listening. "It is not a weapon. It is not a command. It is a key." "A key to what?" the engineer asked softly. Admiral Wren closed his eyes, gathering strength. Then he whispered, "To what humans used to be." The room went silent. "What do you mean?" Aaron asked. The Admiral opened his eyes again, and for the first time, they saw fear in a man who had survived 100 battles. Long before the Valorians existed, long before humans built starships, our species had something inside us. Something powerful. Something sleeping. He paused, breathing hard. "The word wakes it." The crew exchanged confused looks. "Wakes what, sir?" an officer asked. "A weapon. A force. A memory?" The Admiral slowly shook his head. "No. Something more. Something deeper. Something alive." The lights flickered, almost as if the ship itself reacted to his words. "The Valorians know," Wren whispered. "They learned the truth long ago. They saw what humans once were, and what we can become again. Captain Aaron leaned closer. And that's why they betrayed us? Yes, Ren rasped. They were never afraid of our ships. Or our armies. They were afraid we might remember. That one day, a human would speak the word. His voice dropped to a trembling whisper. And once spoken, it cannot be stopped. The medical monitor beeped faster. His breathing turned shallow. Admiral, stay with us, the doctor said. Ren grabbed the captain's arm with surprising strength. You must find the word before they do. There is a place, a hidden station. A secret built by our ancestors. It holds the truth. He handed Aaron a small data key burned on the edges. This code will lead you there, if you can survive long enough to reach it. Aaron took the key. Admiral will get you help. Don't talk now. But Ren shook his head. It's too late for me. He looked at each crew member one by one. Remember this. The Valorians are not trying to destroy you. They are trying to stop you. Stop humans from waking up. His final breath shook his entire body. You must find the word. The beep of the heart monitor went flat. Admiral Ren was gone. The crew stood silent, shocked, grieving, and terrified. Captain Aaron held the data key tightly. This word, he whispered, whatever it is, the Valorians fear it more than death. He turned to the bridge crew. Set course for the hidden station. The truth waits for us there. Horizon 6 prepared its engines. But outside the ship, in the darkness of space, a shadow moved. An alien signal blinked faintly. The Valorians had found them. The bridge lights of Horizon 6 glowed dim blue as the engines powered up again. Captain Aaron stood silently, staring at the dark space outside the window. The death of Admiral Ren still hung in the air like a heavy shadow. His last words echoed in every mind. They fear what humans once were. Find the word. Aaron turned the small data key in his hand. It was old, far older than anything modern humans made. There were strange lines carved into its metal, almost like symbols or runes. The edges were burned as if the admiral had pulled it from fire. Navigation, the captain said firmly, load the coordinates. The navigation officer inserted the key. The ship's system hummed, scanned the data, and then the entire bridge went dark. Every screen, every light, pitch black. A moment later, a strange symbol appeared floating in the air above the console, glowing, rotating slowly. What is that? Someone whispered. The computer spoke in a voice no one had heard before. Access granted. Ancestral path unlocked. The crew stared in shock. Ancestral path? What does that even mean? But before anyone could answer, the stars outside the window shifted. The navigation system suddenly created a course, one that wasn't in any human map. A path hidden from normal space, buried deep beneath layers of encrypted history. A path to the forgotten secret. Captain Aaron nodded. Follow it. Horizon 6 jumped into faster-than-light travel once again. A shadow follows. But they were not alone. Far behind them, hidden in the dark, a Valorian hunter ship activated its cloaking system. Its hull shimmered like black liquid. No light touched it. No sensors detected it. The Valorians had heard Admiral Ren's message before he died. They knew where the humans were going. And they intended to reach the hidden station first. The journey. Horizon 6 traveled for hours through a strange region of space. The stars bent unnaturally. The darkness felt thicker. The engines growled as if fighting against something unseen. This part of space isn't normal, the engineer said nervously. It feels like something is watching us. Keep moving, Aaron replied, though even he felt a chill. Finally, the ship slowed as a strange object appeared ahead. A massive structure floated quietly in the dark, black, angular, ancient. Not a space station, not a building, something older, something forgotten. It had no lights, no movement, no signs of life. But the moment Horizon 6 approached, the symbols on the data key began to glow. The station answered. A giant circular gate opened slowly, releasing a low, rumbling sound that vibrated through the hull. The crew stared in awe. This is human? The communications officer whispered. How old is it? The captain answered softly. Older than our entire history. Entering the station. Horizon 6 slowly entered the dark chamber inside. The moment it crossed the threshold, the station came alive. Lights snapped on, bright white and gold. Ancient machines hummed. Massive pillars lit up with glowing symbols. The floor shifted like something waking from a long sleep. A robotic voice filled the chamber. Human genetic signature detected. Access granted. Welcome, children of Earth. Every crew member froze. The voice was calm, deep, and almost human. The captain stepped forward. Who are you? The voice replied. I am Archivus, the last guardian of humanity's first age. The first age. A time no human remembered. A time erased from history. The crew looked at the glowing walls in silent amazement. Why have we never heard of this place? An officer asked. Archivus spoke. Because your ancestors hid it. They hid everything. The lights dimmed and holograms filled the room, showing humans from thousands of years ago. Not weak. Not divided. Not like the present. These humans were tall, powerful, glowing with energy in their skin. Their eyes burned like stars. Their ships looked alive, moving like living creatures. Humanity once ruled the galaxy. The crew gasped. No, one officer whispered. That can't be real. Aaron shook his head slowly. It's real, because the Valorians feared it. Archivus continued. Your ancestors discovered a power inside themselves. A hidden force. They called it the core. It made them faster, stronger, wiser. It gave them abilities no alien could match. A hologram showed humans lifting heavy metal without touching it. Another showed humans moving with impossible speed. Another showed a human shouting a single word, and a mountain splitting apart. The crew stepped back in fear and awe. Is that what the word does? The engineer whispered. Archivus answered. The word awakens the core. The room grew silent. Captain Aaron felt his heart pound. So the Valorians attacked us, to stop humans from awakening this power again? Yes, the AI said. They fear your return. They fear the word. Aaron swallowed hard. Then tell us, he said quietly, what is the word? The AI paused. Lights flickered. The wall shook slightly. Only one human is allowed to speak it, Archivus said. The captain of the last surviving human warship. Everyone slowly turned toward Aaron. The AI continued. But first, you must learn the final truth. The ground rumbled. A deep alarm echoed through the chamber. A threat had arrived. Warning, Archivus said. Valorian hunter ship entering the system. The hunter found them. It was too late to escape. Horizon 6 was trapped inside the ancient station with the truth. And the enemy? A deep silence filled the bridge once the hologram disappeared. The word Archaon floated in the air, glowing like a cold ghost. No one moved. No one spoke. It felt as if the entire ship was holding its breath. Captain Rhea stepped forward slowly, her eyes fixed on the single alien word. Run a second check, she said, voice steady but tight. Make sure the translation is correct. Ensign Malik swallowed hard and typed again. His fingers were shaking. The system scanned the decrypted data one more time. Lines of alien symbols flickered, rearranged themselves and stopped. There it was again. Archaean. Captain, Malik whispered. It's confirmed. Whatever the Valorians sent, this is the only word. Lieutenant Aaron frowned. But what does it mean? A location? A name? A warning? Commander Holt stepped beside him. It might be code. Something only Valorians understand. Something they never wanted us to hear. Rhea turned back to the window. Outside, the broken Valorian cruiser drifted through space like a dying animal. Sparks danced across its hull. Half of it had been destroyed in the betrayal no human had seen coming. Record everything, she said. Every detail. Every sound. Every symbol. The crew obeyed. But inside each one of them was asking the same question. Why would the Valorians attack after promising peace? Why send a message containing only one unknown word? The Horizon 6 drifted closer to the wreck, scanning for clues. Panels were torn open. Bodies floated inside. The ship looked as if it had exploded from the inside. Holt narrowed his eyes. Captain, this damage isn't from our weapons. Rhea turned toward him. Explain. Holt expanded the scan. This ship was destroyed before the betrayal even started. Something hit them from inside their own system. A cold wave passed through the bridge. Malik felt his chest tighten. So, the Valorians weren't preparing to attack us? He asked quietly. They were trying to run? The idea hung heavy. Maybe it wasn't betrayal. Maybe it was fear. Aaron looked at the alien wreck again. Captain, what if the Valorians didn't betray humanity? What if something forced them to fire? Rhea did not answer, because she had been thinking the same thing. Another alert flashed on Malik's screen. His eyes widened. Captain, I found something else in the data fragment. Show us, Rhea ordered. A new hologram projected, A single shaky recording from the Valorian ship. The audio was broken, the image corrupted, but one thing was clear. Valorian officers were yelling, running. Alarm lights flashed everywhere. And then, a voice, sharp and terrified, shouted in their language, Archaon. Archaon has awakened. The recording cut off. The bridge went silent. Malik stared in horror. Awakened? So Archaon is alive. Holt stepped closer to the screen. If it can cause this much fear, if Valorians destroy their own ships trying to run from it? Rhea's eyes darkened. Then whatever Archaon is, it is not just a word. Outside the window, the stars looked colder than ever. The crew stood frozen, knowing they had discovered something far worse than betrayal. Rhea exhaled slowly. Transmit everything to Earth Command. And prepare the ship. For what, Captain? Aaron asked. Rhea glanced at the wrecked alien cruiser, her voice barely above a whisper. We're going to find Archaon. No one argued. Because deep down all of them felt the same dread. Archaon had caused the Valorians to turn their guns on humanity. And now humanity had no choice but to chase a word that every alien feared to speak. The lights dimmed as the Horizon 6 prepared for a new course. The captain gave the final order. Set trajectory. Full speed. The engines roared alive. And as the ship moved into the unknown dark, every crew member felt it. This was not the beginning of a war. This was the beginning of something worse. Something that should have stayed sleeping. The Horizon 6 moved silently through the dark. Its engines hummed like a distant storm as the ship left the battlefield behind. No one on board spoke for several minutes. The weight of the Valorian message, the fear in their voices, hung over every mind on the ship. Commander Holt finally broke the silence. Captain, we don't even know where to start. Archaon could be anything. A planet. A weapon. A creature. A myth. Rhea stood straight, arms behind her back as she watched the stars slide across the glass window. It doesn't matter what it is, she replied. We need answers. Humanity needs answers. Malik adjusted his headset. His voice was shaky. Captain, I might have a lead. Everyone looked at him. Malik expanded a star map hologram. Thousands of light points shimmered in the air. That Valorian recording. I rechecked the audio. In the background, for a split second, a navigation signal was active. It was locked on a star system, not one of theirs. Aaron frowned. Not Valorian territory? Then whose space were they running toward? Malik zoomed in. A small region blinked red. An uncharted zone, he said. No empire claims it. No records. No patrols. Nothing. Holt crossed his arms. A dead zone? Malik nodded. Yes. It's been empty for centuries. Everyone avoids it. There are stories, but no proof. Rhea's voice turned sharp. What stories? Malik swallowed. Stories of missing ships. Of silent signals. Of something watching. A cold shiver moved across the bridge. Aaron whispered, so the Valorians were fleeing toward this place? Not away from it? It seems so, Malik said. That made no sense. Why would a powerful alien empire choose to run into a dead, dangerous region of space? Unless whatever was chasing them was worse. Far worse. Rhea took a deep breath. Set course for the dead zone. Maximum speed. The crew obeyed even as fear crawled across their faces. The dark zone. Hours passed. The Horizon 6 reached the edge of the uncharted region. The stars here were different, dimmer, colder, as if they were afraid to shine. The ship slowed. An uneasy silence filled every corridor. Scanning, Malik reported. The screen flickered for a moment, then static. What happened? Aaron asked. Malik tried again. More static. Captain, our long-range sensors are not responding. Holt checked his controls. Neither are mine. It's like something is blocking us. Rhea stepped forward. Signals don't just vanish. Not naturally. The darkness outside seemed thicker, almost alive. A deep rumbling sound vibrated through the ship, like distant thunder. Aaron looked around nervously. Captain, is that the engine? No, Holt said, voice tense. That came from outside. The crew turned toward the windows. Space warped. A ripple of darkness twisted through the stars, bending light like liquid. It moved across the void in a slow pulse, silent, massive, unnatural. The ship's lights dimmed. Malik whispered, What is that? No one answered. The strange ripple passed over the ship. Every screen turned black for 3 full seconds. When they came back online, Malik gasped. Captain, We picked up a new signal. Rhea spun toward him. Where? He pointed at the screen. A single mark blinked deep inside the dark zone. Coordinates. A location. But the signal wasn't Valorian. It wasn't human. It wasn't from any known species. It was something else. Something old. Something cold. Holt zoomed in on the signal. It's a beacon, he said softly. A beacon repeating one message. They all leaned in. The hologram displayed a single word. Archean. A heavy silence fell on the bridge. Aaron stepped back slowly. Captain, this is no accident. Something wants us to come. Rhea's jaw tightened. Prepare the ship. We moved toward the beacon. Malik hesitated. Captain, what if this is a trap? Rhea looked him directly in the eyes. We don't have a choice anymore. She turned toward the window. The dark zone seemed to stare back at her. Humanity was attacked, she said quietly. We were betrayed, or maybe someone forced the Valorians to betray us. Her voice lowered. And the answer to everything is inside that darkness. The ship shifted course toward the beacon, engines humming softly. The deeper they went, the stranger space became. Stars vanished. Time felt slower. Signals twisted into whispers. Aaron checked his controls. Captain, I'm picking up readings. Very faint. What kind of readings? Holt asked. Aaron's face went pale. Life signs. Holt frowned. From what species? Aaron swallowed. Unknown. Malik looked at the monitor, eyes wide. Sir, these life signs are huge. How huge? Rhea asked. Malik stared at the numbers again. Captain, each one is bigger than a dreadnought. The ship fell silent. Outside the window, the darkness seemed to breathe. And at the center of the dead zone, something ancient was waiting. Something that had made the Valorians scream. Something that now called out to the humans with one single word. Archean. As the Horizon 6 moved deeper into the void, every crew member felt the same terrible truth forming in their mind. This wasn't just a word. This was a warning. And they were heading straight toward it.